Okay guys, this is the Danish sovereign that I mentioned I bought for my son for Father's Day, and it arrived well late. Uh, as you can see, there's some scratches and some pretty good dings on it. This pipe, see that? These the photographs were not good, and this pipe was listed as mint. There's the stem marking, which is, you can barely even see it. But this pipe was listed as mint, and honestly, I didn't expect it was going to be mint. I figured there would be a little bit of work to it. I didn't anticipate quite so many tooth marks. I certainly did not anticipate the the dings that are in it. And even more so, if I can show it to you on here, it's hard to see, but there is a crack in the shank. That band, see it right there on the bottom part, coming out of the band. It's real hard to see, I think, but there it is. Anyway, that band is not original. I thought it might be from the pictures. I couldn't see that it uh, almost touches the logo. And then there's also just a little bit of a difference there in the fit. But anyway, I am not thrilled with it, but he is. It's his first Father's Day pipe, and if you know, may or may not know that this is a Stanwell second, most likely because of the fills. You see there's a few fills in there, which I may or may not do anything with those fills. But I wanted to just show you what it looks like before we get started, since we got to keep it. Okay, so there she is before we do any work. Okay, so what I've done now is I went ahead and reamed it out, and it had a lot more cake, and it was fairly uneven, a lot more cake than I'd thought. So I've got it reamed and taken an alcohol pad here, wiped it down to get the finish and most of the grime off of it. You can see it's duller now. You can see the crack much better now. Also make out these dents, which that's a pretty good one there. A lot better. That one, yeah. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to take some heat to a butter knife and heat it up real good. Put a damp cloth over the dents, touch the butter knife to it, and create steam, which will hopefully pop some of these dents back out. Alright, so what I've done now is I use the steam to raise the dents some. This one here didn't really come up very much. These other ones a little bit. These are actually more scratches here than dents. So he doesn't really want me to change the shape of the pipe at all. So I'm not sure that I'm going to sand that. Probably won't. Now, as you can see, those are still there, but they are a lot less, I think, a lot less prominent than they were. There's a little fill there I hadn't noticed till just now. Anyway, he doesn't want me to change the shape. He likes the way the rim is shaped and the overall shape of the pipe. So I'm probably just going to see how it comes out buffing it. If it minimizes the scratches and the bumps. Trying to get some more of this char off. without having to do any sanding. Of course, when I can keep from it, I like not to sand too much because you risk losing the stamping. You're not really careful. I forgot what this one is. There's the thought I had a shape code there. I can't read it if it does. And show you the hallmarks too. I might have them upside down. I don't know. Haven't had a chance to try and look them up yet. What they mean, stand for, or whatever. But there's the stumble. And then over here, I'll give you a quick look at my hand. Quick look here. We've got did a little bit of polishing on that. Raised up most of the teeth marks and things with some heat. And what is drying right now, I've got some of this particular product on there right now. It really does do a pretty good job of bringing some shine up and taking off some of the oxidation. And before that, I used just a second to get it here. Just used some rubbing compound. So that's all we've done so far to the stem, other than clean it inside, is we hit it with a little rubbing compound, rubbed it, raised the dents with some heat. Now we've got some back to black on there drying. I'm going to buff that off here in a minute and see what it looks like. Alright, we buffed that off, and I think you can probably see here that not all, but a lot of the marks are out of it. Not all, but a lot of the oxidation is gone. So that's going to really minimize the amount of sanding or filing or whatever I have to do to smooth that out. You might also notice I still got a pipe cleaner in there. It's real important if you're heating up a vulcanite or any stem, I guess, really. Stick a pipe cleaner through it. Make sure you don't collapse your airway. It also gives you some place to hold on to it when you're got it near the heat, or when you're applying the liquids there or whatever. It gives you a little extra room to work. One thing you'll notice is the stem logo, which was really faint to start with, has gone a little fainter. And I was hoping to preserve that a little better than I am, but I was fairly sure with the amount of oxidation that I probably wouldn't be able to. But we'll see as it goes. Alright, you can probably see the swirly scratches and the fine vulcanite dust down in there. I've pretty much got all of the tooth chatter and dents out, except for right up against the button there. And I don't want to try to recut that button because mostly it's in good shape. So what I did is I took a needle file and I just cut it in just a little bit, top and bottom, just to give it a little more definition, because it lost a little of the definition from that. But overall, I think it's looking pretty good. So what I'll do next is I'll hit it with the buffing wheel so I can see what the scratches and condition of it really are. Alright, okay, we got the wheel mounted up here. We're going to start out with this Black Rouge. I know you're probably thinking I'm nuts, and I am. But I've been experimenting with this, and it does a pretty good job at this stage of letting you know where you stand in your scratches and things. And if you think about it, you're going from a 400 grit, I'm going from a 400 grit wet dry paper to about an 800 grit here. So as long as I'm careful, I'm really in the right end of the ballpark. Now let me also say I don't always do it this way. Each pipe and each stem presents different challenges, so not everyone gets the same treatment. Alright, on to the buffing. Alright, you can see there's a significant difference now. There are still some very small scratches down in there. Actually, The buffing has brought up a little tiny dent right there I didn't know was there. But for the most part, it's looking good. So the next step's going to be, we use a little plastic polish on here. Try and get some of the, a little more of the swirlies out. Then I'll buff it, buff it with white diamond. Actually, I'll be putting the pipe back together and buffing it with Triple E, white diamond, and finally with carnauba. Alright, so here's the final product. After waxing, or the buffing and the waxing, the whole 9 yards, see most of the char came off. So we got a little bit left of the triple X's. Very little, if any, scratches. Let's see if I can get it to show. Very smooth. Very shiny. There's a little wax on there still yet I need to get. See, the scratches are still there. The dent's still there, although it looks a lot better. And the reason why, oh, there you go, you get a nice shot of the ream job I did, and the draft hole, which is really close to dead center. The cake was so thick we thought it was way left originally, but it's not. Anyway, since it is his pipe, his Father's Day present, he will make the final determination if we do any sanding. We might change the shape a little bit. If he's good with the way it is, then it'll stay like this. If not, then we will strip her down, re-stain her, and do our best to get every little scratch and nick out of it. I kind of got a feeling he's going to want to leave it this way, though, because, well, I just know him. He's my son. Alright, so there we are, start to finish. One Danish sovereign, Stanwell second, from trash to treasure, or something like that. Alright, good night, guys. God bless.